Like this smell and the smell of Cinnabon at the mall, it would achieve world peace if we could just funnel it to everywhere. Yeah, pretty sure. Hey guys, Claudette Zepeda here in San Diego, California, coming to you from my wonderful fake kitchen. You know your girl can't just bring you beans, so we're gonna turn these beautiful frijoles de la olla into one of my favorite childhood dishes, which is frijoles charros. And again, because your girl can't leave you hanging, I'm gonna teach you guys how to make flour tortillas from scratch. This dish is from the northern part of Mexico, but it has so much gumption, so much meatiness. The charro is a brave guy. The charros are the original Mexican cowboys of Mexico. How we differ from the States is that just like everything else that we do a little bit extra. First things first, the beans. These frijoles de la olla are kind of my version of what I like to eat. Something that is also very part of our culture in Mexico is using ancestral herbs in our food. So if you have them, use them. And of course, I have to add my twist to it because I was raised in the northern part of Mexico, which has a ton of Japanese, Chinese, Asian culture influence. So kombu. Kombu has natural occurring MSG. As we all know, that is what makes us want a little bit more, why it's like addictive. Our culture has some of the most beautiful, wild, medicinal herbs, this being one of them, hoja santa. It has this like anise quality, almost like fennel. It imparts something so beautiful, like just green, which means it tastes alive, it tastes vibrant. My second favorite herb is epazote. It has a really pungent, bright, herby flavor as well. So I'm gonna do just about 3 leaves of this. And I'm gonna do 1 hoja santa. What I like to do is just kind of like crinkle it, just to smash and bring all the oils to the surface, the same way you would mint if you're doing a drink or something. And that's it. I'm just gonna pop that one in. So I'm gonna do 1 pound of soaked beans. Anything that's a very creamy bean will work. And then 3.5 cups of water. We're gonna just put this in the pressure cooker for about 30 minutes while we work on the charro part of the beans. So like the good chef that I am, I want to show you guys how to multitask when you're making anything. The beans are back there, so we have time. 30 minutes to spare. While that is going, we're going to start on our base for the frijoles charros. This is kind of the Claudette's mom version of frijoles charros jalisquenses, so from Jalisco. Here I have some bacon. Actually, I'm going to do a little bit more bacon because I need this fat when it sits rendered. I need it for our tortillas. Flour tortillas have fat in them. You can do them vegetarian. I'm not judging, but they are really good if you use rendered fat. Next, I'm going to do my smoked sausage. And for the sausage, we're just going to do like a small cube, just like a small dice, medium dice, I should say. So I have this Spanish chorizo that has paprika, a little bit of cayenne pepper in it. And last, I'm going to do ham, just a smoked ham. Same size as the smoked sausage. You want like a medium dice. Now we're gonna go to our aromatics. So we're gonna do onions. I want like a small dice on here, smaller than the sausage. And you just run your knife up and down. What I realized in a previous job that I had, where we were also doing Mexican food, that all of the cooks, we were Mexican, but we didn't understand the food. We didn't know the differences or the whys of how things evolved, and it changed my perspective. It's like I'm going to learn everything about my culture, and in that I'm going to learn about other cultures and what makes them special and be able to share their story. And my nose is running. Sorry, hold on. I got onion tears. I was not crying from the story, I promise. Next, aromatic, garlic, and I'm just going to run my knife right through it. So for the serranos, you don't have to deseed them completely. I like a little bit of seed, but I also don't want a bunch of little white seeds floating around. So I'm just gonna remove the walls, clean it as best as I can, remove the heart, and then just mince them. So let's go to the stove. I always like to start any dish that is like braised meat or rendered fats, a very heavy cast iron, very heavy stainless steel pan. It's just gonna give you even cooking. The heat's gonna be evenly distributed. And we're gonna put it on high heat. So we're just gonna scrape the bacon into our pot. You wanna make sure it's not super crowded and all of the layers, how they were kind of stuck together, break them up as best as you can. Then we're gonna drop the heat medium. And it's been just a few minutes and you can already see the edges browning, which is what you want. Let it do the heavy lifting. Once some of that first layers of fat started rendering, if you've heard of the word confit, it starts to cook in its own fat. It starts to really help the caramelization on its own because that rendered fat is almost deep frying the little bacon bits. And you can see now the pieces have shrunk quite a bit. You can almost feel like you have more fat than bits, which is what we want. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna fish out the bacon bits and remove the fat for the tortillas. I don't like to strain it too much. Nothing burned, so I'm not worried about what's in it. Those little bits are just its flavor. So now we're gonna add the rest of our meat. So we have the chorizo, the ham, and the smoked sausage, and that's just gonna go in all together. And we just want a little bit of caramelization. I'm just gonna drop the heat to a steady medium. So again, we have the 2 garlic cloves that we minced and the half of an onion, yellow onion. So I'm gonna add the serranos that we minced earlier. And I didn't put them with the onions and the garlic because I want these to have a little bit more texture. I'm not gonna sweat them down as much. So now it's gonna give us even more help on doing the heavy lifting. We're gonna add our tomatoes and the 2 chipotles with the adobo sauce. Drop this to a simmer just for a few minutes before I add the beans. All right, so the valve right now is closed. You have a little X over the steam. We're gonna open it up, but I don't want to ruin my kitchen. So I'm gonna just turn it underneath the towel. You see all that air pressure release. It's like eating Rice Krispies. Okay, snap, crackle, and pop is done. Now we are good to remove it. So it's on keep warm. I'm just gonna stop it. I'm gonna unlock it. The moment of truth. You see the beans are perfectly cooked. So you can see the hoja santa pretty much disintegrates, mainly because of the pressure cooker. But I'm just gonna leave them in there. Beans straight in, all that liquid. We might even need more, who knows? But I'm just gonna go straight into the pot. Now that everything is in the pot, I'm just gonna mash them. The beans about 75%. I wanna leave the other 25 as whole as I can leave them for texture's sake. 2 generous pinches of salt and just stir it in. Just be careful, this is really hot. Oh, that's good. Seasoning's perfect. I'm gonna cut the heat and I'm gonna add the bacon. And I just thought, you know what? I'm only gonna add 3/4 of this because it would also make a really pretty garnish if you were gonna, dress to impress the dish. Like any good Mexican meal, you can't have the dish without the spoon, right? And I don't remember having much flatware set out as a kid. It was just tortillas. They were our spoon. That was what we ate it. We literally would finish eating. If there was no more tortillas, oh, I'm full. So here we have flour tortillas that are done my way. So we have 250 grams of flour, and we're just gonna make a well in the center, and the ingredients are super simple. We're gonna start with our fat in the well. I'm just gonna pour it all in. And I'm gonna do the salt, a couple pinches. It's a good amount of flour. And we're just gonna work our way inwards, out. And just gonna make another little well and start with my water. And you want it, again, warm to touch, kind of like bath water. I've joked before, the spirit of your ancestors comes and whispers, "Ya, mija," behind your ear when you think, oh, is it ready, is it not, is it seasoned, is it not? I'm just gonna add the rest of my water and just keep bringing it back together, bringing it back to the center, outwards, in. All right, I'm gonna add a little bit more warm water. Just kind of create that well again so you don't make a mess. You wanna use that heel of your hand to do the biggest push. Just tear and come back, tear and come back. You can see how it's evolved. Just the surface from the really broken bits to now it's a little bit more smoother. Okay, that is done. You're gonna put it in your bowl and just covering it with the shower cap. I promise I haven't used it. Totally sweating. And then just let it sit somewhere warm for about 30-40 minutes, and then you are good to start portioning and rolling out. Now we have let the dough rest. Again, I can't stretch that enough, pun intended apparently, I did a smaller portion earlier, and it is perfectly pliable. You see that I can put my finger in and it doesn't bounce right back up. It stays indented. That's what you want to see. And my tortillas are about 3 ounces. I'm going to do medium-sized tortillas. It doesn't have to be exact. My grandma would have the tortilla dough in a bowl, and she would just literally do this. And she knew this was a perfect portion she needed. But for consistency's sake and for everyone that isn't a Mexican grandmother, we'll do it so you guys can learn. And what I do is I cut the little forms or the shape that I want. I kind of reshape it into a ball, and then always a damp cloth, damp towel if you don't have more than 1 shower cap. And make sure your surface is properly floured. Your rolling pin only goes up and down. So remember that. I see people do this, and I mean, we're already sweated rolling this out. Let's not overexert ourselves if we don't need to. Remember this. 45-degree angles. For your starting point, 90 is here. Go in the middle of that. Now from there, we're gonna go up and down. And we're gonna do that again. Turn it up and down. 45, turn it. Just like we use the heel to knead the dough, you're using the heel to push down on the rolling pin. Just once and twice here. And it's okay if it like crimps on certain spots. It's honestly okay if it's not a perfect circle too. So we're just gonna put this on our sheet. Rinse and repeat. Make sure you have an even circle. Okay, your pan, it should be hot. The comadas are usually about 500, 600 degrees. If you feel like you're gonna burn yourself this way, you can go with 2 hands and whatever you're most comfortable with and just drop it, leave it alone. You can see that white instantly, like it's cooking it. Now I feel okay. See all those bubbles coming up? I'm gonna flip it. Oh yeah, look at all that. All these little pockets of air, that coloring. You'll see people doing this, and that's to make sure that it cooks evenly, and that's it. That is good to eat. Burrito, rice, beans. And see, you should be able to do this with a tortilla, and it comes back out without it ripping, tearing. That's exactly what you want. Have a linen handy, and you're just gonna start stacking them in your linen. I'm all done. Let's go. And we're done. We have our flour tortillas are ready to go, our frijoles charros. So I'm going to garnish it the way I like it. So we're gonna do cilantro, just a generous sprinkling of it. Cebollitas, same. This is it. Add cheese, and you can eat it with tostadas, you can eat it with tortillas, whatever you like. And the queso fresco, I don't like to crumble it too much to where it's like mealy. I like leaving it in bigger chunks. And now I'm gonna add the chicharron, and that is gonna add the texture, that's gonna add that pork flavor that we already have in there, and it's going to just be those little pops that are incredibly welcoming in this. And then last is our avocado. We're just going to slice it thinly. Put that here, and everyone can help themselves. There you have it, familia. Frijoles charros a la Claudette, and the most tastiest bacon fat flour tortillas you've ever had. Now mama gets to eat her taco. So the best part of being the chef that gets to cook all these things is usually we're the first to taste. And the tortilla works as a spoon or as a plate. You don't need much. Make sure you get all those nooks and crannies, all these little bits. Fill it up, roll it up, and enjoy. So that drips all over your face. I don't eat enough of this. Probably good. I think my genes thank me for that. But damn, it's good. This taco is like the embodiment of like extra. And I mean, hello. All right, going in for a second bite. Sorry, guys. Again, all over your face. Making my mom real proud. So you have creaminess, you have crunchiness, you have a little bit of acidity with the, or lightness, brightness with the herbs, cilantro, the green onions, and the creaminess from the cheese. So this is a pretty perfect bite. Weird things hypnotize me in food. Steam, watching steam, fire. Guess that's why we do what we do.